G'day everyone, I'm AzureBlaze, and welcome back to another episode of Sonic Superstars. And this episode is going to be done a little bit differently, mainly because I've actually played this already. Like, everything that is being shown on screen has already been recorded before I started speaking, mainly because I could not get past this boss for the life of me, and I kept trying at different times, and eventually I was able to do it. And every time I recorded what I was doing, however I wasn't recording myself speaking at the time because that was a lot of times and I really didn't want to, basically. And I find it's a little bit easier to focus when I'm not recording and all that sort of thing, like my voice and everything like that. Therefore, yeah, I decided to do that. However, that does mean I have this video here and I'm going to commentate over it a little bit and say my reactions to things and such. Yeah, but basically, as people probably saw in the last video, which was a couple of weeks ago now, I apologize, I've literally been trying to get past this boss for that long. I am battling Knack, and it is the final boss battle in Trip's story. And yeah, I simply couldn't get past it. I ended up, over the amount of time that I've been trying to do it, I've sort of come up with all sorts of little techniques, whether they are actually techniques that work, or simply ones that, like, make it feel easier for myself rather than actually make it easier at all is a whole nother thing. Like I found, you can see where I'm jumping on the screen and all that sort of thing, where like, oh, right now, one of those techniques is like going straight underneath him when he pulls these little orb things out. I always like doing that, it makes things a lot easier. However, yeah, when I'm jumping around like on these wavy platforms, I guess, I always find it fun to like jump in specific spots to keep my momentum up. That's one of the most fun things, like jumping right there, like, and then rolling, yeah, rolling down and then jumping and all that sort of thing. It's always really fun, I find. And he's got his balls out again, this sort of thing, like his orbs, I guess you could call them. They're not really orbs, I guess, are they? They're like more square and all that sort of thing. However, yeah, trying to get to the other side of him at all costs tends to be the best way, I find. Whether I use it like the fireball and all that sort of thing to do it, or whether I roll under him, I can use time to slow down and hit in between to make sure I actually get to hit him if I don't get to go under him and all that sort of thing. I find the clone can sometimes work as well. Like, there's all sorts of strategies to making sure you get past him from that point, and that is probably the best part. Here, it is fun to use the fireball and hit him. I think that makes it a little bit easier. Clone as well works sometimes there, and like the time slow down as well works sometimes there. However, the fireball is quite fun, I find personally. And then yeah, the missiles, I always find them to be a little bit random, personally, and I mean, eventually, like, if you keep running and jumping, usually you'll miss it. However, yeah, for the most part, I find them a little bit random. However, yeah, that is the first part of the boss, like, the first phase done. And I never realized how close I actually got to finishing the boss battle whenever I was doing it. I always got up to the point where he used his hands and nose to, like, crush the platforms, and I didn't realize that was pretty close to the end. However, yeah, my favorite, this is probably my favorite part because it's probably the easiest part, is when he fires out like the ant robots that I don't remember the name of. I don't think they counted as motor bugs like the other ones. They might be. However, yeah, they're always easy to hit. These spider webs, however, are probably my least favorite thing out of any Sonic game ever now. The amount of times I've got caught in one, or everything like that. Like, I've gotten caught in them. I've tried many different tactics to get around them. Like, I found sometimes if you go back after he does the first webs and jump over them to the left side, because I'm always running right, I might work in reverse. Yeah, sometimes, it's not consistent, however, sometimes he will switch from putting the webs down to firing his corks. I don't know what the difference is. I ended up finding, like, the best strategy was simply to go really slow, because his corks aren't really that fast. Therefore, if you, like, run up the hill and then let go of the joystick when you're going down the hill and let the momentum carry, it slows the character down. However, it makes it like he can't hit you anyway. Therefore, like, you never make it back around to the webs, which is the most frustrating part. Or you do sometimes when the webs get much more difficult, I guess. When he starts putting more and more down, you do eventually tend to make your way back around. However, there's a lot less you have to worry about when you simply slow down and all that sort of thing, because turning around sometimes is generally not a good way to go, because you simply don't have enough time, I found at least. And I never understand why he does that jump thing. He does a bit of a jump, and it can launch you into the air if you're on the ground, and it doesn't tend to make a difference for anything. Therefore, I don't understand why it's there. I don't understand why it's there. However, yeah, you can see, anyone can see that I'm sort of like, yeah, that was my biggest problem. Getting stuck in the web is horrendous. It's really difficult. And yeah, I switched to the time thing in case I get stuck in the web, and I ended up getting stuck in the web. I was correct. Therefore, yeah, the time ability really helped me there. Sadly, that means I can't use it again though. I cannot use it at all again for the rest of this phase. I thought this was only like the second out of 3 phases or something. Since I was incorrect about that, however, I will get to that when I get to that, I guess. However, yeah. Now we go back to the spider webs again. These ones are frustrating because he starts doing 4 now, I believe. This is where he gets up to 4. Oh no, he's only done 3 there. Yeah, next one around he'll do 4. However, yeah, he fires it out of both hands now, and he fires them a lot quicker. In the end there, I did end up getting stuck. However, it was alright because I was out of the corks had finished by that point. And then yeah, I hit all these back. I'm pretty sure at this point I was getting ready for him to do his like hit down on everything. Therefore, I was getting the fireball ready to like move if I needed to move. Because something I find interesting is like this like boss battle. At least I feel like it encourages like constant running, like running to the right or the left. And when he does some moves, like it simply stops the screen, and you run too far, and you might hit something. And that's something I find that has to be like some care has to be taken there. Yeah, there we go. He started doing 4 spider webs instead of 3. I sort of have to like navigate around. Have like yeah. I find it. I managed to get through that, and now he's about. This is it. He sort of stops there. There's a good chance I could have got hit there. However, I didn't. I didn't realize at the point. I kind of figured that you might be able to like hit his head and do some damage. However, I didn't know for sure because I wasn't able to do it yet. Yeah, here I ended up using the fireballs because keeping the webs in the air was a solid way to keep me around, and it as well like slowed me down a little bit. Therefore, I had to deal with less of the webs on the way back around. Now, this is whereabouts I believe he fires his arm ones again, and he fires. It might not be this one, however, one of them I know he fires like 1 extra or something like that, and I keep losing rings to these. This is probably the most like frustrating part of those like old things. However, yeah, he does the web again. There we go. I got stuck that time. However, luckily I was able to get out. I find it very difficult to get out once he starts switching to using 2 arms for his corks. I think it's because he fires a bit quicker. However, yeah, I managed to get out and managed to run back over. Here I decided to use the clone to see if I can actually hit him in the head, and I could, which yay, that's good. Means less I have to do. I don't understand why the camera sort of like clicked back then. I don't know, it made it seem very difficult to. It sort of caught me off guard and made me a little bit disorientated, I guess is probably the best word for it to start with there. However, yeah, we're back to this, and I didn't realize at this point how close I was to actually finishing it, because I'd never been this far before. Like I'd only ever been up to like the first time he hit down onto the ground and all that sort of thing. I've never been quite this far before. Therefore, yeah. And now if I these out again, I have to hit the blue orbs. I did that and done. He was done. And when I saw this, I actually kind of didn't even believe it at first. Like I didn't sort of realize that was the end. I was like, wait, what? And then yeah, it sort of ended, and I am extremely happy that it's finally over. I spent like the last, I think about 2 to 3 weeks, even longer. Yeah, way longer. Probably about a month and a half even, trying to do this. There was a point where like I didn't put a video out because I was doing uni stuff. I was doing this then. I then did put a video out of me failing to this the whole time. And then there was like another week, yeah. There's a lot of things. It's like a month or a month and a half or something like that. Oh yeah, now I'm on the final cutscene. I like this cutscene. It's always nice to see Trip interacting with anything, because Trip's adorable. Therefore, yeah, this cutscene is very much adorable. It's a little bit short and doesn't have much meaning to it. I really like that Trip puts the helmet back on. Yeah. And that sort of ends it there. Yeah, that boss battle, it was difficult. It was frustrating. What I am going to do is I'm going to quickly speed up the credits until it gets sort of to the end, which is what I can do with the magic of editing, while I can keep talking. Therefore, this will be going a little bit quicker. However, yeah, the credits don't really have much in them other than like all the names, which is nice, I guess. It's their credits. I don't even know why I said that. However, yeah, that final boss battle was frustrating. I believe even at the start of the credits there, I was in that sort of like not necessarily disbelief, I'm like done with it that I didn't even move trip for ages at the start of the credits. Like I started to at one point, and then I sort of sat through the credits for a while, hoping there'd be something else. However, there wasn't really anything else right until the end, where it popped up saying last story. And that means, yeah, I was aware that this was coming, and I am very excited for it. I like the little art they have up for it. And yeah, that is what I shall be doing in the next episode. However, I do believe, I hope, I do believe, I hope, I do believe, I hope, I hope, I do believe, I hope, I believe. Wait, what am I saying? I hope everybody enjoyed this episode. Thank you for watching. I apologize that it was a little bit strange, and I shall be back in the next one. Cheers, everyone.